In this day and age, with gender fluidity and generally being comfortable in your own skin, the term man jewelry doesn't have the same ring to it. But let's be honest, for many of us, a watch is the only way we visually express ourselves other than through the clothes we wear. I do still think there's a case for wearing a watch purely for its functionality, and I think it's wrong to have to haul your phone out of your pocket just to tell the time. But would a $20 Casio suffice to do that? Yes, of course it would be. But those of us that watch these types of videos, we are all suckers for mechanical instruments that are all made with an enormous amount of care and take up a disproportionate amount of mind space. So with that said, is there a case for any of us to wear something on our wrist that's technically a watch, but it's possibly more on the side of jewelry? Before you dismiss what you see on screen here, please don't forget the many projects that all get an enormous amount of attention online. Just this December 2022, H. Moser released a watch with a QR code crystal, a case design and an asking price that brings an Australian expression to mind. They are simply taking a piss. And let's not forget about Uhrwerk, various special limited editions from the respected watchmakers such as Audemars Piguet, and let's not even get started on Richard Mille's work. So from that perspective, I think it's genuinely fantastic to be bringing you a small French brand called Beaubleu and their fun, well-built, beautiful and dare I say affordable watch to my channel today. If you hurry up with your order, you may even be able to, pun most definitely intended, ring in the new year. This is a watch that will look good on any gender, and whilst I love diving tool watches, it's so nice to handle something really out of the ordinary today. So let's check out the Beaubleu Vitruve Steel. If you're like me, you've only heard about this brand right now. I was contacted by Nicholas from the brand and we chatted online for a bit. I arranged to borrow this particular model, and there are plenty of others on their website which I'll link up. And I'll also be interviewing him in my series of microbrand owners, since he has surely an interesting story to tell. Before we get stuck in, I will be starting a conversation here and on Watchcrunch on this one, so please allow me to present my channel sponsor here. If you're like me and always looking for a better alternative to interact with other watch fans, I'm very comfortable in recommending Watchcrunch. You'll find me there amongst other YouTubers, microbrand owners, podcasters, and importantly, watch fans. You'll see watches at all price points, no snobs here, and even people chatting about straps. Yep, these are my people. The overall vibe is welcoming and the user interface is modern, attractive, and importantly, no annoying algorithms or ads. But don't take my word for it. Head on over and check it out, which is what I did when they offered to sponsor my channel. Make your own mind up, and when you're ready, follow me on Watchcrunch. Okay, so let's chat sizes first. It's exactly 39mm in diameter, and including the sapphire glass is 10.6mm thick. Lug width is 20mm, and lug to lug is 45.2mm. So whilst it looks small, it's actually sized to fit a lot of wrists. You can buy this right now for $950 US. The watch's most eye-catching details is clearly these hands or circles. In fact, when you Google Beaubleu, the search return is the watch with round hands, which tells me people are Googling this watch after seeing it in the wild and wanting to know more about it. It may seem like I've hit my head here, but after wearing it for a bit, it's actually quite easy to tell the time. The large blue circle is the seconds hand, the medium circle hand is the minute hand, and the smallest is the hour hand. There is a small circle on each to indicate where it's pointing, but even without this, it's not too difficult to work out where the tip of the circle is pointing due to how it's attached on one end to the center. Where it gets difficult is when they're all very close together. And I'm not trying to say that this is the most legible watch in the world, but it is, to my eyes at least, a beautiful arrangement of moving circles that can help you tell the time. The watch really does appear to have been constructed from one block of steel, and it's a lovely effect. The dial and the sunken circles at the minute marks all have the same brushed surface, and the circular theme here is further enhanced by the polished rings at each minute mark. The sandwich dial approach leads one to think that there may be lume present here, but there's no lume on any circles here, which is probably the only miss to me. Circular lumed indices and perhaps a small lume pip at the tip of each circular hand would have been pretty cool, and it would have looked amazing at night. But due to the surface areas, it may simply have been too hard to achieve without having to apply too many layers or too few to have mattered. Finally on the dial, the whimsical double B logo looks like a butterfly to me, and is contained within a circle of numbers and the brand name printed. The only print we see is the brand name, Automatique, and Paris at the 6th position. The font in use is not one I've seen before, and it looks good. The white on blue date complication at 6 is small, but due to the treatment with light on dark, it's visible enough. All these Miyota movements seem to have minute date treatments, but this is one that I don't hate. Holding the sapphire crystal in place is a vertical brush fixed bezel with a polished chamfered edge. It's a good combo, and scratches will likely not bother you too much here. The case itself is another beautiful detail. It's designed to give the appearance of having a round case set into an intricate combination of hollowed out corners and rounded angled lugs. The sides are brushed, and what's contained within is polished, which is a smart move, I think. This will ensure that the polished bits are protected and will stay polished. The push-pull crown is signed and quite thin, but it is deeply knurled, so it's quite easy to manipulate even with my large sausage fingers. Flipping the watch over gives us a good look at the Miyota 9015. This is one of the most reliable movements around, and it offers 42 hours worth of power reserve. The case backs spell out the numbered edition and also the 3 ATM water resistance. The robust and straightforward look of the Miyota movement suits the brushed and polished details of the watch pretty well, in my opinion. This beautiful bracelet with its subtle signed buckle is fitted to this case, but it's also quick release, so when you want to dress it down a bit, this is both very easy and it also changes up the look quite a bit. The bracelet reminds me of the ones supplied with the Serica watches, in that it has slots to close it down properly, and it also can mean a rather shocking tumble to the floor if you're not careful when putting it on. It is a great bracelet, but the watch looks just as home on many other alternatives, which is a sign of a versatile design. Take this light blue strap for instance. All of a sudden you have a watch ready for a summer's day on the beach. One thing I love about watches, and perhaps even art in general, is that you can appreciate and admire pieces that you may never want to or be able to put on your wall or on your wrist as it happens. I love the look of this watch, and I would actually wear it in the right circumstances also, particularly on the leather strap. But if my wife was into watches, I would most definitely have encouraged her to wear this. I think it's a great design. It's not different for different's sake. These large circle hands are mesmerizing to look at as they slowly make their way around the brush dial. And with a bit of light practice training, it's actually quite easy to tell the time, in addition to admiring these large and attractive rings. Beaubleu is on my radar now, and I hope on yours too. I'm looking forward to all the fun things they will bring to us in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.